Normally, the way this works is that you ask questions to the tarot, but today we're going to do something different. The tarot is going to ask you a question, and if you are so willing, please share in the comments what your answer is. If you are more interested in asking the tarot a question about yourself, about your situation, your relationship, your work, your life, then I recommend that you visit my website and book a reading. But as I mentioned at the beginning, this is going to be something a little bit different. So I would like to ask you to take a moment to slow down and notice how the shuffling is also slowing down, and you're taking some deep breaths. You're almost intentionally slowing down your breathing, but it's also happening subconsciously. It's the most natural thing to do in this situation, because this is not only a time for you to answer a question, but it's also a time of relaxation. And as you're breathing deeply and slowly, you're building a bridge between the subconscious and the conscious mind. And the answer that you're about to give might even surprise yourself. Now let me emphasize, you are not, of course, obligated to share your answer. But I know that some of you are enthusiastic about sharing your ideas and your experience. And I love reading about you, about how you see the world. So I encourage you to share it if you wish. So let's see. Let's see what the question is that the tarot would like to ask you. We're going to be using this brush to find the elements of the question. I'm going to pull 3 cards, which are going to constitute the question. Number 1. Number 2. And number 3. Here we go. We have the 3 of Cups, the 7 of Swords, and the 5 of Swords. Okay, so right off the bat, we can see that this question is going to concern the individual versus the group. Individual interest versus group interest. The question of selflessness versus selfishness. And where to draw the line. The first card, as you can see, is the 3 of Cups. This is the ideal starting position. This is where we're seeing the congruence and synergy between people's emotions. This is intimacy, closeness, and equal partners participating in a situation where communication is open and vulnerabilities and emotions are shared, and there's a shared energetic field that creates a protective layer. However, we then have the Seven of Swords, which, as you can see, is about lack of responsibility, betrayal, and prioritizing the interests of the individual over the interests of the group. So, whether this is resonating with your life, or when you're replying, you are perhaps helping someone else, I would say that this is a situation that occurs pretty frequently. This isn't something that we can avoid. So we're seeing this idyllic community based on shared emotionality, and then the rude awakening of someone disrupting this bubble and walking away with the goods. Now here comes the question. Is it, once this happens, once a member of the group breaches the spiritual contract and wreaks havoc on the shared group values, once they choose to go down that path, does that mean that all bets are off? The Five of Swords, as a response, is indicating that once the trust was broken, there's no way of rebuilding it. And the only logical and acceptable answer, and here's where we have a question mark, is to retaliate and to accept that the fragile ecosystem of the Three of Cups is now upset. It's now destroyed. So the question is there forgiveness after betrayal? Should you go down a path of revenge or lack of forgiveness? Those two are, of course, are located on opposing ends of that spectrum of emotional coldness. Lack of forgiveness does not equal revenge. However, these two phenomena belong to the same category of lack of effort to reestablish group coherence. So what do you think? And this is where the tarot would like to know your answer. What do you think is the right way to move forward after such a thing, or what is the most viable path? And you can think of and share memories from your own life of instances when this happened, when you had a little community that was betrayed by one of the members, and what you chose to do afterwards, and whether you would do it again. So this is a difficult question, and I don't know the answer, so that's why I would like to hear your thoughts. What is the next step after a brutal betrayal of friendship, of camaraderie? Is this a tit for tat type of game? Or should we be playing forgiving tit for tat? If I really want to narrow down the options to these two, then that's the question. Can forgiveness be reintroduced into the equation, or once a brutal breach of trust has been done, there's just no redemption arc possible? Let me know what you think. Let's discuss in the comments.